Okay, let's do a little line animation because this is going to be fun. So I'm going to start with a new, just make a new project. File, new project, and Command N for new composition. So I'm going to use this HDTV 1080 preset, and I'm going to do Empire State Building line draw. Click OK. It's 30 seconds long. I'm going to make it 10 seconds long. Click OK. So we have a new composition. I'm going to make a new solid. Command Y. This blue solid works for me. Okay, now what I'm going to do is use my pen tool and draw a mask on this solid. So G for pen tool, and I'm going to just put a line all the way across this right here. And I'm going to add the stroke effect to that. So stroke, there it is. Put that on that layer. And then what I'm going to do is have it put a stroke on the masks. So right now there's only one mask, and I'm only going to have one mask, so I don't need to have it on all masks. But I'm going to make this brush size roughly this big. I'm going to go with 8. 8's a good, healthy size. Brush hardness, I'm going to make that 100%, so it's a nice crisp line. And then, again, kind of like we did with the circle wipe, only we don't have to do trim paths. It's in the effect we could actually animate this on using the start or end. So if we wanted to do that later, we could. So right now I've got just this straight line, and I want the Empire State Building to grow up out of this straight line. Okay. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my playhead forward to 1 second and hit Alt or Option M to add a keyframe for the mask path. Okay. Now let's import an image. I went out to the internet, downloaded a picture of the Empire State Building. I'm going to put that on here as well. All right, that's actually the perfect size on accident, almost. It's close enough. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the opacity of that so that it becomes a ghost, so I'll be able to look at the line underneath it. And I'm going to lock that layer so I don't accidentally do anything to it. Now I've got a keyframe at 1 second for a flat line. All right. So if I go forward to 2 seconds and I use my pen tool and I start adding points to that line, I can manipulate that line so that this part stays flat, but I'm going to bend it up this way, up and over the Empire State Building. So the way I would start that is with my pen tool, I would, just by clicking on it, see the plus next to the pen tool, there's my add vertex. And then if I add another one in the middle, then, if I add another one in the middle, then switch to my selection tool, I'm going to drag that one up to be the point. And now what I'm going to do is just keep adding points here, here, use my selection tool. So there's the tip, add a point and a point. I accidentally double clicked on my mask, which puts a transform box around it. So let's see, I'm going to need a point here, here, roughly here and here. I'm just going to do a rough outline here. Okay, selection tool. Let's bring this in. So that's a vertical line. Bring that out. As long as it's representative, we'll be okay. So point, point. Let's do 2 more points here and 2 more points here. This one here. I'm always, when I'm adding these points, I'm going to my pen tool and clicking on them to add the points, and then going back to my selection tool to manipulate the points. Okay. So let me turn off the Empire State Building. Does that look close enough? Close enough for this demonstration. So I added all those points to the mask, but it's only one keyframe. Now watch what happens. Magically, it just sees all those extra points, but it knows where they would be on the straight line being that first keyframe. Boop. Pretty cool, eh? Now, if I wanted to, I could go to my effect and do that end animation. Add a keyframe for the end, hit U to uncover that keyframe. And actually, one thing we could do is have that happen right in the middle of this growing. I don't know. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and have it drawn. It's kind of doing this weird movement thing. So what I might do is just go to my mask, select one of these points, draw a box around it, hold down Shift, and just nudge with my arrow keys over to where that's in the middle. How do I really find the middle, you might ask? Title, action safe, middle, I overshot it, so I actually want that right there. I could use a guide. Command R will bring out your rulers, and you can bring a guide into the middle so you can actually, whoops, nudge those over so that they really are right in the middle. Now hopefully, I didn't build that in the middle at all. Okay, so again, if I deselect the layer, if I kind of select the layer so that I can just select one point, that allows me to draw a box around all of these points, and then I can nudge them over so that it's in the middle again, right on that guide. There, now it looks like it's growing up a little better. So let's try something different. Let's have this end keyframe thing happen through the growing of that building and see what that looks like. All right. Okay, so here's another thing we could do. I could use this picture This is actually something I've thought about doing, but I haven't actually done yet, so just try to bear with me for a second. All right, I'm going to make this picture, I'm going to duplicate this project. Go to my project panel, duplicate this composition. So I'm going to go to my duplicated composition, and I'm going to return back to my roots and have just a horizontal line. So G, hold down Shift, I have a horizontal line going across there. Stroke, I'm going to have to make sure that's on path 1 again, so there it is. Now what I'm going to do is go to my Empire State Building, and I'm going to put a stroke layer style on here just to see if I can actually get a stroke on that. So for my stroke options, I'm going to make that white, and I'm going to have it be an 8 again, just like the other one. Okay, so that's working. I'm going to just turn that stroke off for a minute and return my opacity of that layer back to 100%. And then using my pen tool, I'm going to carve out, draw a mask around this, and carve out the Empire State Building. So click, 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 click.
So how do you tell where to click, especially when the pixels are a bit scattered apart?
You just make your best guess.
Oh, so you just have to improvise.
Yeah, because you can't get it exactly perfect.
Oh boy.
Although I am able to get a lot more detail by doing it this way. This is really sloppy. But it's going to probably look better than the other one. Click, click, clickety click, click, click. All right, let's go down here a little more, close that off. Okay, there's our Empire State Building. Lovely, right? Okay, so what I want to do now is, if I turn this stroke back on, then maybe what'll happen is that stroke will be right around that mask. It actually needs to be heavier. But now what we need to do is turn that into a silhouette of the Empire State Building, right? So that's where our fill effect comes in really handy. So if I add fill to that and then select this blue color, there. Now we've just got the outline that's showing up. I mean, it's actually a layer. See, that it's still there, but it's the same color, so it looks invisible. Now we need to go to this stroke, and we need to make it the same size, which is actually going to make it heavier. 16. Okay, that's going to make it appear the same. Now what I can do, I actually have the luxury of scaling this down so I can get like the whole building in there. Or more of it. Put it in the middle. Okay, one last thing. I need to duplicate. I'm going to bring this this blue solid in again, and I'm going to place it above the Empire State Building, but below right there so that it can cut it off right there. Now guess what I need to do? If I'm going to make that Empire State Building grow. Yeah, I could do scale and position, but I want it to just maybe just emerge out of the line. So I'm going to do position keyframes. Whoops, wrong layer. Position. Let's drag it down. Magic. Which do you like better? I guess it depends on what we're going for, right? But now what we could do, whoops, if the anchor point were down here, now we could actually have this, you know, dance, and it would always be, you know, coming out. Could actually have it spring up. Boing. All right. Let your minds go crazy with that one.